Hey guys, how's it going? This is Matt Bordeaux here again. Today is day 123. I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all doing well. I do just want to mention I'm sorry about the late upload for yesterday's video, guys. I was in the lab all day today. Well, not all day, but before I had to go to work and I had all this stuff to do, so I wasn't able to upload it at the regular time. But so that's why it's uploaded a bit later. This video should be uploaded at the proper time though, so don't be too concerned. Um, Today we ripped shoulders and traps in the gym. I'm just going to start rolling the clips. Yeah, the trap day was crazy. You know, it was, well, yeah, it was crazy. Okay, I will say I usually do shoulder work with the dumbbells, but I didn't do shoulder work with the dumbbells today because my wrist is still hurting and I don't want to. Well, I'm not even able to lift heavy. I tried lifting the 20-pound dumbbells and doing frontal raises, and it just wasn't gonna go. It wasn't working. It was terrible. So I ended up doing work with the cables instead, and even that hurt a lot. But I mean, what else am I supposed to do? I'm not going to completely slack on the shoulders, but I still wanted to get something going there. So I did end up doing frontal raises and, well, I did shoulder flexion and shoulder extension actually. So I did work both the front delt and the rear delt. You guys may be wondering, why did I work rear delt today? Honestly, because I'm using the cables anyway, so I might as well do both flexion and extension of the shoulder just to get some work going there. And then after that, I ended up still using the cables. I usually warm up with dumbbell shrugs, but knowing that my wrist, I wasn't even really able to do the frontal raise with the 20 pounds, I wanted to warm up using the cable. So I ended up doing shrugs with the cable. That way my arm could stay rigid, i.e. my wrist wasn't going to flex or extend. I was able to keep it in an isometric position. And I was still able to really work the traps in a good way. So you'll notice in the clip that I ended up doing kind of like a trap row for a couple of reps, and then I ended up going in for, just the upright shrugs, and both of them felt very effective. I ended up mixing both of those exercises in to all my sets I did. And again, guys, I only really record only one set of each exercise. So when I was doing the other ones, I was mostly just doing one at a time, i.e. the upright shrug and then the angled shrug with the shoulder roll back. I do like doing the shoulder roll back again because it works, it works the majority of the actual trap, i.e. the superior aspect and the posterior. I like working as much as I can of it. So I also do have a size difference in the traps now, which is pretty annoying, I'm not going to lie. I believe it is my right trap that is actually a bit smaller than my left trap. And you'll notice I did end up doing shrugs with the dumbbells later on in the gym session. And I don't really know if you guys can tell because I did go to the gym by myself today, so I didn't have someone help record. But due to the angle, you might be thinking that, it's hard to tell, but I can clearly see that there is a difference in size in the traps, and it is very annoying. And I don't really know how that happened because I lift equally, and if you guys have been with me for a while, you guys would know that I have been lifting with dumbbell shrugs for months now. It's been a while. Basically, whenever I do traps, I always do dumbbell shrugs. So I don't really understand how it's possible that I was not, how they're a different size. I think it's really embarrassing. It's pretty stupid, actually. So I don't know. Because it's not as though my shoulders are bigger. It's not as though any other part of my body is asymmetrical. Everything else is symmetrical. So I hate the fact that my traps aren't. But regardless, I did end up going for, I did actually do four, I did 3 or 4 sets of the 70 pounds. So I did increase the dumbbell weight, and, that feels really good to do. That was awesome for sure. But yeah, and then what did I do? Oh, I did lat raise, but again, I didn't do it with the dumbbell. I just did the machine lat raise, just because I figure, you know what, it's already really tough. I can't lift that weight. It's gonna take a couple weeks, guys, of modified work, and it's really unfortunate because this happens every time I increase weight for basically any exercise. So I feel as though I'm going to have to start incorporating wrist exercises, wrist flexion exercises. It's not so much my extensors, it's honestly my ulnar deviators, and my ulnar deviators are wrist flexors. So I need to start working on those to develop strength there. I do realize that my forearms aren't that big. They are kind of, scraggly. So yes, I do need to start incorporating wrist exercises in order to prevent wrist injury again. Because believe it or not, guys, I am going to keep on increasing my deadlift. I am going to keep on increasing, my lat raise and my frontal raise. So how would it even be possible for me to do this work if I didn't have stronger wrists? And you know what? From before, I thought just lifting the heavy stuff would, be good enough, but no, it's not good enough. It's my wrists aren't keeping up in strength. So as a result, I need to do extra work to improve it. And then, yeah, so I pretty well did those 3 shoulder exercises, and then I only did 2 trap. I did, of course, the 2 variations of the trap of the shrug, and then I did the dumbbell shrug. So I suppose I did 3 different trap exercises as well, but I kind of did the 2 trap ones at the same time. I alternated sets of 2 different exercises for that shoulder, for the trap cable work. But overall, it was pretty, it was a good gym session. Again, I'm going to turn on the light now just in case you guys couldn't, or the clips ended already. But yeah, it was a crazy day today. It was so busy just over at the school, and I just want to talk a bit about yesterday's video as well, just a bit more. It was very unfortunate to learn about what happened. I kind of had, the day today to think about it, and I had last night, and I also met with that prof, the guy who I was supposed to work with, and I think what happened was he just submitted the application late. Well, he did submit it late, that's the truth. He submitted it late, and it kind of screwed me over. I don't want to make anyone feel bad, but at the end of the day, it did really screw me over. And it's just really unfortunate to know that, I had to put my trust in someone else, and they kind of blew it. This was pretty significant. Doing a PhD is a pretty significant part of your life. I mean, it was going to be a pretty significant part of my life, and now that it's been delayed for, I don't even know how long, I have to do all this other work now. And in this meeting today, we did talk about different ways that I could, potentially start. But unfortunately, it's not going to be in September. There's nothing I can do about that. There were ways. He said, I could look at internal funding from the school, and I could look at, self-funding. But if I have to pay the full stipend fee, the stipend that I was going to receive is $25,000 per year. And that's a lot of money for me. That's a lot of money for any student. And that's for free. Like, that's just grant money, That's part of the reason why, I was really, I planned everything around this and not having that money. And now I'm not going to get any of, my student money. And there's a lot of money fronts that I'm not going to receive now because I'm not starting in September. And it's really unfortunate. It actually really sucks. I'm not even going to lie. It's pretty terrible. But, it is what it is, I suppose. Like I said, there's nothing I can do about it. And that's pretty much how it's going to be. But it's unfortunate because I was told about the internal funding today, but even if there was a chance that, this extra grant money that we've been talking about since January didn't go through, I don't know why we wouldn't have been able to hop on the internal funding, or at least try to get internal funding first besides outside grants. Like, I didn't even know that was an option. And, you know, I guess some of you guys might blame me for that, for not knowing that. But at the end of the day, I kind of put trust in the professor. I've I'm the student. I'm trying to put trust in this prof that is telling me it's going to work out. And I'm not trying to blame anyone. It's just really unfortunate how it ended up going, and I am still upset about it. I really am, because it basically ruined my entire year. If I can't get in for the winter or the summer, then and I just don't understand. I don't really see how that would work well. Sorry, I just had a notification of a 20% battery pop up on the phone, so if there was any type of delay, that would be why. But again, guys, I guess I am still just upset about it. I'm not trying to be upset about it, but it's really hard not to be, because this is huge. This is huge, and yeah, it's just really unfortunate. But yeah, besides that, I guess I did have an interview, and I don't really know if I talked about the interview much, but yeah, I had an interview for some nutraceutical company for a full-time role, I guess, or part-time. I told them part-time because this was before I knew about what happened. And hopefully I can just do that for the interim. I am personal training, but there are a lot of things, happening with the personal training that aren't really good. And, it's kind of like just a bit of dishonesty, but we're going to see. I'm still in my probationary period. So I'm going to do contract renegotiation at the end of my probationary period, of course. And so it's going to be one of those things where, if they told me one thing and then it ended up being something else. So if after my probation, it doesn't end up being this one thing that they told me at the start, then unfortunately I'm going to have to quit, personal training these folk, because it was a big margin of difference that I was told compared to how things are right now. So a lot is different, and I can't really support and just be someone's ass and let that happen, right? It doesn't make sense. And there are some people there that are actually they came off as one way, but then as I became to know them, they ended up being another way. And it's really unfortunate. But as I mentioned, I already knew that the fitness industry was pretty corrupt, because I used to be a manager as well at a fitness gym. And being the manager, you sort of realize how corrupt things are. And obviously I didn't want to take on another managerial role. I just wanted to do personal training. But it's still pretty crazy. So in this case, I am going to give it the benefit of the doubt, because it would be very unfair if I didn't. But life just sucks right now, guys. Life really blows. I mean, I don't really know what to do to fix it right now either. I'm just trying to keep on pushing forward. I'm still going to the gym. I'm still releasing these videos. I'm trying to eat more. Eating more is really hard for me because it's so expensive. Eating more is just so expensive, and I don't really... I mean, it's not like I'm broke or anything, but anyway, that guy was a dingo on purpose. You know what? I really hate driving now. I used to love driving, but as I've grown older, I realized that everyone that drives is a literal asshole. They all think that they own the road, and it's almost 11, and it's still terrible. So people are still driving like dinks, and I live in the country, and I'm literally in the country right now, and it literally doesn't make much sense to me. But anyway, yeah, I can't keep on complaining. I know I complain in all these videos, but I'm just gonna be truthful with y'all, because I'd rather complain and make a video than not complain and make no video. I'd rather just be honest and truthful, because one day I will look back on these, and it will be pretty obvious, that things are either going to change for the better or things are going to change for the worst. Just like this guy that just passed me, right? He passed me. He's speeding so much, and just because he doesn't want to be behind me, he ended up slowing down way too much because he's going. This is an 80 road, and he ended up going about 140 down the line, and he was going double my speed. So I guess I'm going 90, on an 80, and he going double, so he's going at least like $150. It's crazy. So we had to slow down. It's crazy that people are just so terrible. I hate people. I really do. I don't like. I just hate the fact that I have to associate with people like this on the road. But again, I understand, people, there have been some people that have unsubscribed because obviously, me complaining. And I mean, the gym is awesome, but at the end of the day, man, I'm just a 24-year-old guy trying to give you the truth about how things are going. And, it is, again, it's kind of like a internet journal for me. So I'm going to keep on being truthful. And you know what? Hopefully one day things do get better, and hopefully one day I can make happier videos and stuff like that. But for now, it sucks, and I get it. For the whole summer, for a long time now, life's been pretty down. It's been pretty terrible. And I don't really know how to fix it. So, here's to hoping that I can make things better one day. I've prayed a lot to God, and he hasn't really answered my prayers. In fact, it's pretty terrible, I've prayed for a lot of things, and I'm not going to say I'm losing faith in him, but I'm struggling really hard. So if you guys have any words of advice or any way to, anything, please let me know. You can also message my Instagram. I did post it in the community tab. I'd love to hear from you guys, and I'd love to, feel better. But as always, folks, I hope you all take care, and I'm going to catch you all tomorrow for day 124.